Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced just got a ton of huge news from the developers, and honestly, this is the single biggest news drop since the game was announced. The team behind the remake just sat down and answered a ton of community questions in a public Q&A over on Reddit, and the amount of stuff that they talked about and confirmed is pretty awesome because, well, I am sworn to secrecy, unfortunately. Full disclosure, I actually have played Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced early thanks to Ubisoft, and I can't say anything beyond that just yet, but I'm allowed to talk about, officially covered information from Ubisoft. And let me tell you this much, when I give you guys my full coverage that should be coming eventually, you guys are not going to want to miss it. So be sure to sub to the channel because some of these confirmations are exactly what some fans have been begging for. There's some good stuff, there's some bad stuff, and I'll be covering it all. But real quick, guys, you know that one thing on your to-do list that you keep putting off? Well, for me, it's always booking doctor's appointments. Why does booking an appointment feel so annoying or overwhelming? Have you ever finally worked up the nerve to call and only be told the next opening is months away and felt like just giving up? That's why I'm excited to partner with today's sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc solves the frustrating parts of the experience. You don't have to deal with phone anxiety or playing phone tag anymore. ZocDoc is free to use. It lets you search and compare local in-network doctors. ZocDoc's website has tons of reviews from real patients and detailed doctor profiles to help you choose the right one. I love that I choose a doctor based on my preference. You can see actual appointment openings and click instantly to book a visit. Appointments happen fast, usually with 24 to 72 hours. You can even score same-day appointments. Your health matters, and ZocDoc makes the process much easier, so head to ZocDoc.com/Westworld to get started and check that appointment off your to-do list. Once again, the link is in the description, and thanks so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video. So now let's get into the actual Q&A itself and start with the technical side of the Q&A because the developers confirmed something that, kind of sets the tone for everything else they revealed. According to the producer, they officially stated that Black Flag Resynced is running on the same Anvil engine that powered Assassin's Creed Shadows, which that should give you a good idea about where the visual ceiling is going to sit with this game. So the remake is going to get access to the full modern Anvil tech suite that Assassin's Creed Shadows did, which honestly, if you've seen that game, it looks really solid. We got confirmation that it will feature ray tracing, but obviously you don't have to use it, like that's an option. It'll have real-time global illumination, the dynamic weather systems, destructible objects, and a significantly better sound design. Now specifically for this remake, they called out that the Anvil water tech team has been a critical part about building what he is calling the best naval experience the franchise has ever delivered. The original 2013 Black Flag was already considered one of the best and most visually impressive games of its generation, specifically because of how it handled water. The waves felt real, the storms were really good, and some of the crazy stuff on the ocean is some of the most memorable things that I can remember about that game. Now imagine some of the naval gameplay rebuilt from the ground up with the modern ray tracing technology, and just think about how that'll look like in the game. Obviously I can't say anything, but just imagine it. And I think this is why the developers feel confident enough to, be making such bold claims about the naval combat. They're not just polishing what came before, they're essentially using the strongest version of the Anvil ever built, and they're applying it directly to a game whose entire identity is built around water, which that right there makes this news really exciting. Now this next reveal is genuinely one of my favorites because it tells you how the team is thinking about this remake. Somebody actually asked a question about how they are approaching the overarching combat design, and if they took inspiration from any other games, to which the producer responded, Resynked's combat is heavily inspired by fan-made combo and tool videos from the original. We set off with a target to bring back Edward's parry-based, flashy style of combat, but we also knew that the bar for fight systems is higher in 2026. In the original, using the, pistol and tools in combat was great fun, but they were mostly visual. In Resynced, different moves need to be used in different situations. This means that one needs to react quickly in order to pull off a flashy series of moves. They then said we'll be able to share more on the rest of your questions in a combat deep dive very soon. So that's something to look forward to. We have a combat deep dive coming. But here's where the news gets a little bit controversial because the developers also confirmed how the hidden blade fits into the combat system. And this is one that has the entire community talking. Now on Twitter, somebody actually asked me that question, to which I was like, I can't say yet, like I'm not allowed to, but I responded with the gif that was like, if I speak, I will be in big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble. But according to the developers, dual swords are the main weapons Edward uses in battle. The hidden blade is not a selectable weapon. Instead, the hidden blade is now a contextual bloody fatal takedown that triggers when you break an enemy's defense. The team is framing this as a critical part of the moment-to-moment combat that was not really a part of the original, which I actually get that design intent here. Like they want every hidden blade execution to feel weighty and earned, but the community reaction so far has been pretty harsh. There's been a lot of comments that are like, no hidden blade combat, man, what? And there's other people that are like, I love everything I've seen so far, but no hidden hidden blade combat is kind of an L. So I'll let you guys decide, is this an L, is this a W? Like, let me know what your thoughts are. I know for a lot of people, the ability to like select the hidden blade as a primary weapon was a crucial component. Now I'm not allowed to say anything, but what I will say is like, I understand the vision of the developers based on all of the official stuff we've seen. I understand it. That's all I'm gonna say. Nothing more, nothing less. Man, this video is getting tough to make, dude. All I'm gonna say is I'm only talking about stuff that was officially revealed. That's the only thing I am mentioning. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, next up, we actually have some news that is pretty awesome that I think a lot of Assassin's Creed Black Flag fans are going to be hyped about. First and foremost, social stealth is officially back. The producer Paul kept the answer short and sweet. He said, yes, social stealth is in Resynced, hiding in crowds, blending in, slipping past guards, it all returns. Second, the legendary ship boss battles are returning. The producer Richard confirmed that the legendary ships are as brutal as ever to fight, and Ubisoft is dropping a full naval deep dive later this month with way more details, so we can look forward to that. Moving right along, the map size remains 16 by 16 kilometers, exactly the same as the original 2013 game, but the world is now significantly more dense. There's brand new islands that have been added. New locations are inside the existing cities, so the footprint is the same. But what you do inside the game is going to be a lot more packed, which I think this is the right approach for this remake. You preserve the, geography that fans know and love, but you make every square mile feel more alive. Next up, all of the original side activities have returned and have been rebuilt from the ground up. Whale and shark hunting, bell diving, animal hunting, checkers, and all of it. They're all available. And according to Paul, they said they will be sharing more information very soon. Someone then asked the question, will there be a hood toggle? Please add a hood toggle. It would be epic. To which they answered this, keep your eyes on the horizon with the little eyeball. So maybe it's gonna happen, maybe it won't. Only time will tell. Royal convoys are also confirmed in the game, but the developers said finding them will not be easy. As for the social chest, the team gave a fun pirate themed answer. A pirate never confirms or denies the existence of his treasure. Next up, Kinway's fleet management system is now built directly into the game. No more needing to like alt tab a companion app or open up a separate phone interface. You access the fleet either through the hideout or through your captain's cabin, which that's the kind of quality of life upgrade we love to see. You guys remember all the companion apps that dropped back in the day? Like, whatever happened to those? I mean, they were really lame, but like still, some of them were pretty cool, I won't lie. Now, next up, we got some more details that were revealed that aren't like the big headline news that are gonna make some people happy. The shanties from the original are all returning. Leave her, Johnny, leave her. Real quick side note, like playing Black Flag this week, as well as playing Windrose for the past like 50-60 hours, all I've been listening to is sea shanties, and I could not be more happy. Like, the dude who actually recorded them is an absolute legend. I freaking love so many of those songs, and I'm glad they're back, along with some brand new ones. And according to the producer, they specifically mentioned that some of the new shanties are inspired by characters we already know and love from the original story. He literally said, try not to cry when you hear them, which I think that's a pretty big teaser. And honestly, if Ubisoft delivers, sea shanties that are tied to character arcs, like that's going to create so many awesome moments. I'm so excited to just beat this game again. We also got the confirmation that all of the original outfits are returning. So if you were worried about losing some of the iconic suits and stuff, they're all back in the game. Moving right along, naval autopilot has been added. Edward's hands obviously has to be on the helm during combat, but during the long voyages between islands, the ship can now sail itself while you walk around the deck and just take in the experience and just have it all done in autopilot. Now, the memory corridor is also returning, but this time it is rebuilt in 4K. We got confirmation that the controls are fully remappable with a separate remap profile for ground and naval combat. And they also did a massive deep dive on the HUD customization. I can't even begin to talk about it, so I recommend just looking that up. There's a full post on the Assassin's Creed Reddit. Genuinely recommend checking that one out. So moving right along, the developers also doubled down on a few cuts that they made from the original game, and honestly, I think every single one of these cuts makes a lot of sense. There's officially no multiplayer mode in Resynced. The producer was really clear that this is a pure story-driven experience focused entirely on Edward's personal journey. They wanted to rebuild the ground and naval gameplay, expand the story. I believe we have 6 hours of additional story content, and they wanted to stay true to the original vision of the main campaign. Now, the DNA sequences menu is also not returning, which that's kind of a smaller change. Now, the wanted system, however, is back in full force. Pirate hunters will sail and stalk you based on your wanted level. So as you raise that level, the more, enemies there's going to be, the stronger they're going to be, and you're able to reduce your bounty by, boarding ships or by paying bribes. But the absolute most exciting tease from this entire entire Q&A came from a fan that asked about historical figures like Anne Bonny and Mary Read, including whether the recently discovered burial records for Anne Bonny would be reflected in the game's database. Paul confirmed that the team did notice Bonny's newly discovered burial records and is excited for fans to experience the new content featuring both the new and returning characters, which again, all of this, pairs perfectly with the previously confirmed 6 hours of new story content. So Resynced is not only going to rebuild this entire game up from the ground up, like visually, but gameplay wise, but it's also going to be expanding the lore. It adds some history stuff, and it gives both the returning people as well as new people a reason to jump into the game. And that is exactly what a great remake should always do. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video. I will definitely keep you guys up to date whenever it comes to all of the official news and updates, and I'll definitely let you guys know my thoughts on it once I'm allowed to say, which I can't talk about when that's gonna be or what it is. But stay tuned to the channel, hit the sub button if you haven't already, hit the like button if you enjoyed, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.